The last question I have is this. In your opinion, is Eagle Mountain City doing enough to preserve open spaces in the wildlife corridor? And if not, what else can the city and, importantly, the residents do?
Okay, those are great. That's a great question. I'll tell you what the city's done well, and then we'll talk about some of the things the city can improve on. But something that the city has done well that I have enjoyed being a resident here, but something I noticed before I even moved here. There are a lot of trails. There's a lot of places you can run and jog and push a stroller and ride a bike, and those trails connect through miles of the city. I've loved that. When the Ranches was first made, and they put in a lot of trails that people can walk on. I love it. There's a trail going down Eagle Mountain, down Pony Express to go into the city center. And I, as a real estate agent, I was out showing homes on a Saturday morning many years ago and thinking, wow, people don't realize some of these cool things that Eagle Mountain has because they haven't been out here. But it was a Saturday morning. I saw joggers and bikers all over the city on safe pathways, enjoying a great place to run. So the city's done well with some of those interconnecting trails. Where the city has not done well is the city has not understood its primary competitive advantage, and that's land. Open space. They haven't understood that. They've tried to be dense like Saratoga or Lehigh or Harriman, places like that. That's not our competitive advantage. It never will be our competitive advantage because we cannot compete with short commute times that those other cities can afford. We cannot do that. And so what we do have is land to allow for larger lots, more animal rights, a wildlife corridor, a mountain biking, and other things like that. That's what we can compete on. But we haven't done well with that. As an example, you look at Upper Hidden Valley. What have we done with that? And the habitat that exists there, and what could have been approved there, but we've lost the opportunity to because of vested rights. Pole Canyon, you look at some of these subdivisions that you just think, what was the city thinking? What was the city thinking? And so, what can we do better? Well, we need better planning and vision. We need I think we need to reevaluate the general plan. And we need to reevaluate some city ordinances, and so that that's going to take a lot of work. There's a lot that's going to go in that needs to go into revamping the plan and the ordinances that will allow us the opportunity to have what I would say a city that has sustainability. I would challenge people to think about this. Look at the city of Bluffdale. Compared to the city of West Jordan. I lived in West Jordan. And I loved my experience there because I will love wherever I live. But I will say this, West Jordan is not, at least the neighborhoods I was in, 0.1 acre lots. People moved from there as soon as their economic opportunity afforded them so.
Right.
Job change, a raise, whatever it was, as soon as they got more money, they moved. What are we creating in Eagle Mountain right now? Are we creating that same thing? Whereas people get a little bit more money, they're gone, they're out. They won't move if we create a city that's more like Bluffdale. They won't have reason to move because they'll have something they can't get anywhere else.
Right.
And it'll be a very sustainable community, which promotes sustainable schools. It's all about connection. And the more people can remain connected, the stronger that community becomes. But connection can't happen when people are constantly moving and not wanting to be where they're at.
Right.
So maybe a long answer to your question, but I think the city needs to do much better, especially when it approves subdivisions in areas where it's very sensitive to wildlife and very sensitive to natural landscaping. It needs to be way better. The city hasn't done that. The city is sold out to developers, which benefits the developer and the landowner, but not the city, and not long-term sustainability, and not connection. But it creates a transient culture where people will move as soon as they get the chance to move. Eagle Mountain should not be the first place people move to. It should be the last place people move to. But we've got to change that. And it's going to require vision and a voice that's going to be firm about that. Because I firmly believe we can be like Alpine. We can compete with Alpine.
Mm-hmm.
We can change people's perception of Eagle Mountain. But in order to do so, we need to preserve open space, use it correctly, continue to provide better trail systems and more land for each owner, like lot owner's lot. And by so doing, it's going to create that stable culture that we need to have a really strong society.
I see what you're saying. Well, I want to tell you thank you very much for taking the time to come and talk with us and record this interview and to run for city council. I appreciate you.
You're welcome, Mayor. Thanks for the time.
Mm-hmm.